Yo, 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 welcome to the A&B Mobcast. It's your boy AD.
It's your boy Bruce, and we back at it. How you feeling, good brother? Back from the gym. I went to this furniture outlet
What
store.
time you went to the gym at? 12?
Man, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I went at like 12:30, but I went to a furniture outlet store afterwards. Bro, these people be lying, bro. These people be lying, bro.
What happened?
They say whatever to get you in the door, bro.
70% off the entire store. You going
Nigga.
that bed, shit, full price.
They said, so the store, they have information out there like, hey, this is a liquidation sale. And then, so I go in the store, I'm like, they ain't getting me. You can't play a
They
player.
got you in that bed.
They got me in that mug. You can't play a player, boy.
Okay.
So I walk in that mug, I'm like, when are you guys closing down? And she says it's liquidation. That means we're just getting rid of the old inventory, bringing in the new one. I was like, all right, cool. So I'm walking around, and I got candy in my mouth, right? So I'm walking around, and there's no prices on nothing. You feel me? So I'm like, how do I navigate this store? I don't want to bother you too much because I'm just really browsing. I'm, interested in buying a bed set, but I'm browsing, evaluating my options across different stores.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, we got to tell you what it is. Since it's marked down price, I can give you the best price. And I'm like, God damn. So you got to be over my shoulder the whole time, my nigga? I was like, all right, cool. How much is this? Now I'm just pointing at stuff.
Make ad
And
work.
then homegirl said, yeah, this bed set actually comes with a full living and dining room set for free. And I was like, for free? I said, how much is the bed set? She goes, $6,600, right? So I was like, well, if I don't want the living and dining room set, how much for the bed set? She goes, $2,400. I'm like, so clearly the living and the dining room set ain't for free.
Bruh, she ain't tell you a lower price without the free items, bro.
What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I was like, well,
Bruh,
if I a la carte this, because the layout was just a king size furniture bed set, with dresser and one nightstand. So I'm like, I'm gonna need 2 nightstands. Oh yeah, we could order another nightstand. So I'm like, okay, so y'all do a la carte furniture. I'm like, yeah, we could do that. So how much is for the bed and 2 nightstands? Because I already got a built-in dresser in my bedroom, in the wall. And she goes, oh, it's going to be $2,400. So I'm like, nigga, how the hell is everything else for free if I'm going to get everything else for free, it's going to cost me $6,600? How that work? And the lady couldn't do nothing but walk off. So at this point, I'm just pointing at stuff. I'm just pointing at stuff. How much is this? How much is this? And she taking forever to look it up because she an older lady. You feel me? So she had glasses on, but she was like one of those people with like, you know how people with glasses, they look up and they look down at the same time?
It don't make no sense.
Like this, she was squinting at the joint. So now I'm pulling another dude who's on the floor. He ain't helping nobody. So I'm helping him look up stuff, and she telling him to back off because obviously they probably work on a commission base.
She's trying to get that check.
She's trying to keep that check. I'm like, man, you wasting my time. Like, then I was like, man, I'm just gonna go to American Furniture Warehouse because they got better prices. I'm like, bro, stop advertising things that's for free and they not for free, bro. We're not doing that.
So if you did your review, it'd be a negative one.
Yeah, it's false advertisement at its core, bro. It's like it's bro, not
you sound
for free.
Upset. How far it is from your crib?
It was like, keep in mind, I went from the gym there, so it was like 20 minutes from the gym. But I mean, it's not too bad because it was literally right. So it was at Deerbrook Mall, which there's a Total Wines right next door to that Deerbrook Mall, and that's usually where I get my cigars. So literally within walking distance of where I get my cigars, anyways. So I just bought a few cigars, so it wasn't a wasted trip. But it's like, nigga, what the hell you got going?
Oh yeah, nah, man.
But yeah, everything besides that is good. How was your weekend, man?
Oh, it was good. What did I do over the weekend? Oh, I went to the outlets, little school shopping, and went out to eat.
Y'all already doing school shopping?
Bro, school starting 2 weeks.
Nigga,
Bro,
I ain't got no kids. I don't know.
What I'm saying is August 10th. August 10th, school back, bro. Less than 2 weeks, bro. It's already nitty gritty.
I ain't got no children. I ain't got no godchildren. I wouldn't know that.
But right now, if you're doing school shopping, you're down there late.
For real? Don't they have like a tax-free weekend? They still do that?
That was this weekend. I think it's a month this year, but that was this weekend, yeah.
Oh, for real? So y'all got it now?
I hit a few, but yeah, man, just besides that, it was crazy. You had an eventful weekend. I'm sure you didn't make it back in time.
Nigga, I got stuck in Chicago, fam. Stuck.
See, people miss Spirit.
Yeah, nah, I ain't even gonna lie to you. These other airlines been acting a fool, bro. Like,
what happened, bro?
So this weekend was my first time flying Frontier. You see what I'm saying? And
there and back.
There and back, right? Flight there was cool, right? I'm not gonna say it was smooth. Well, I guess the flight was smooth. It just was uncomfortable. First of all, Frontier, I had a goddamn pocket for not having reclining chairs. Like, them shit sit straight up like a L, 90 degrees the whole time. So I'm on that motherfucker 3 hours in the L position. Bruh. So I'm over here walking around so I don't get blood clots. That's how stiff I was. Frontier out of fucking pocket for that.
No TV, Wi-Fi?
Nothing I was paying for. But I'm not somebody who need that on the plane anyways. Like, it's weird because when I'm taking the flight, I do my best to stay up all night just so I can get some rest on the flight. Like,
nah, I be watching the movies. The movies I ain't seen that they done drop, and you can watch live TV on some NBA games. You can watch, you know what I'm saying? You can watch TV.
Yeah, so that was the flight there. Flight back, they canceled that flight when I was in the airport. It was a 5:58, 5:48 flight, something like that. They canceled that. I got that notification. PM. Okay. I got that notification when I was at the airport, right? And after they
cancel, not delay.
So they started off by saying it's delayed.
Yeah.
And within 15 minutes of making a delayed announcement, they just canceled that motherfucker. So they said it's an engine issue with the plane, which is cool. Hell, I'd rather have an engine issue on the ground than in the air. So I ain't tripping, right? So now we got to go to the front desk and rebook. Now keep in mind, it's like 5, it's right at 6 p.m. this time, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to get another flight out. Go to the front desk. They said the next flight ain't until Thursday. Flight out ain't until Thursday. Keep in mind, this is on a Tuesday, so I gotta be there for 2 days. So I'm like, okay, cool. So how does that work from a hotel perspective? You feel me? It's like, well, the reason why, we can't book a hotel is because a lot of flights got grounded because we dealt with a storm, which is true because a tornado did come through Chicago on that Sunday. So a lot of flights were canceled. It wasn't only that airline. So now I'm like, nigga. So now I'm trying to evaluate my options or whatever the case may be. And I'm online looking at other flight options. And I was able to find a flight option with American for $209 one way. So I booked that. But that wasn't until 9 p.m. the next day. So I still would have been at the airport for 24 hours. So I went back on what I was looking at and I realized that there was a 6 a.m. flight out on United. So I booked that and then I called American to get my refund. And they said, hey, you bought a basic flight unprotected. We can give you a flight credit, but in giving you a flight credit, you still gonna lose $99. I'm like, all right, cool. I lost $100. Cool.
Dang, bro. That ain't no cool. You shouldn't have flew Frontier in the first place, trying to penny pinch. Go ahead.
I'm just trying to get back at this point, you feel me? Like, I'm just trying to get back.
Forget the cost at this point. I ain't trying to be in the airport all night.
Nah, I ain't gonna say that, because I saw some first class flights, which is what they had left on American for, like, within a couple hours, and them shits was like $1,800. So I definitely ain't
Where's
say
this
that.
credit? Where's this credit from Frontier?
No, Frontier refunded me my return flight. American is who gave me that credit less than $100.
So I got you. So
I got back on United. You know what I'm saying? And United, that flight, I think it was like $270 plus tax. Probably came up to like $280 something.
And you lost $100.
And I lost $100.
So that's $370, $380.
Listen, man, I'm blessed, right? I'm blessed, so I ain't even tripping about that. I'm just trying to get to the high. Hey, let's go back to the conversation we was having. I'm like, I don't know how people live life not having emergency money.
Bruh,
like
that 400 came in clutch, ain't it?
Like, I'm at this point, I'm just trying to get back home. I'm not tripping too much about the cost, but I'm also not going to do an $1,800 flight. I'm not tripping too much about the cost. And yeah, I finally got to the house at like 9 a.m. yesterday, which was Wednesday. So I did have to end up sleeping at the airport. And it wasn't only me. It was a lot of people, man, because all those flights was grounded, man. White lady came up to me. She said, I'm so glad this happened, unfortunately. She goes, it teaches my kids how to be humble. Like, imagine how homeless people feel. Here we are in the AC. You see what I'm saying? She's trying to give me perspective or whatever the case may be. And he said, I'm so glad my kids have to experience this because they're just so privileged. And I was like, yeah, I'm nodding my head. And this one is like 3 a.m. I'm not trying to talk to you. I'm just, trying to stay up so I don't miss my 6 a.m. flight.
That's real now. If you was on the right flight, though, they would have gave you like a hotel credit. It was too many people.
Yeah. Like I said, a tornado came through Chicago a couple days before. So while we was all sleeping, first of all, I didn't even know airports had like lounging areas like that. Like there was like couches and all that.
Some of them starting to do that, yeah.
Yeah, I was at Chicago O'Hare, and I didn't realize Chicago O'Hare Airport was that goddamn big. I always thought Atlanta had one of the biggest airports. Chicago O'Hare, I don't know. Atlanta ain't got shit on Chicago O'Hare.
Yeah.
So when I got up there, you start interacting with people. Hell, y'all, we all sleeping here. You know what I mean? So we got to interact. One dude said he's been at the airport for 3 days.
At the airport.
He was supposed to fly out that Sunday. The tornado came through when he was going through TSA, and they had to ground his airport, and he, 3 days. He's been there for 3 days.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I always travel. It seems like everywhere I go, though, I have somebody I know in that area, bro. Yeah. Come get me.
I called Chris. Chris hit me back. He ain't hit me back. He ain't get back with me till today. He was tied up and all that. But like I said, my goal was to get home because when I got home,
I already know.
I was productive. You feel me? I went straight to the gym after I got here. Worked out for about 2 hours. Then I came home, cut my grass, and it was like 103 degrees too. It's hot out here in Houston. So I cut my grass. I was productive when I got here. Cleaned my house. Then I took a shower, and then was able to fall asleep at like 7. But I woke up at 3 a.m. My body woke me up at 3 a.m. And I've been up since 3 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you made it back safe, my boy. I just, always check your weather in the airlines before you go travel somewhere, dog.
Yeah, it's been a weekend, though. But, these weather people, they be wrong, too, though. You feel me? These mugs be wrong.
Hey, did you, fun fact, did you know that when you look at the weather app, the percentage they tell you is not the percentage of the chance of it's going to rain? It's actually It's actually the percentage of the area that's supposed to get rain. So if you're looking at the weather app and it says tomorrow, Friday, it'll say 70%.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't saying that it's a 70% chance it'll rain. It's saying that 70% of the area may get rain. I always thought it was like 70% a chance.
That's what I thought too. Yeah, the only time I check the weather is if I'm taking my black car out. You feel me? Like I don't be wanting to park it somewhere and the top be down. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only time I really check the weather. Outside of that, there's nothing that I'm doing that requires me to just be out here checking the weather. It could pay me. But other than $2 if it rains or not.
Bro, other than that, was the trip to Chicago beneficial? Worth it? Got through it?
Yeah. Business trip. It was eventful. I was able to kind of see the bean. You ever heard of the bean? The Chicago bean? It's like a reflective bean, essentially.
Oh, yeah, that little silver. Yeah, everybody take a picture by it. Yeah. But I ain't know the history behind it, but
I ain't really look up the history behind it neither. But that shit was massive, bro. And I got this phobia of being around things much bigger than me.
Pause.
That is a pause. Damn, that was crazy.
Yeah, leave my boy. Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
I got this phobia of being around things that was much bigger than me, my phobia didn't kick in when I was over there, so I was able to actually see it. I got close to it. I got under it. I went dizzy when I got under it, looking
so
up
on
at
pictures.
The
it don't look. I guess the way you explain it, don't look that like it's that big. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it's massive.
Pause.
It's definitely massive. Hell, this is a far away picture of it right here. I don't know if you can see that. It's a far away picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit is massive. So I took a picture like right underneath it. You look up and it's like it's a reflection of you, but it makes you dizzy. I don't know what it is, but it makes you dizzy. So I was able to see that. Ate some ice cream, some Chicago style ice cream and shit like that. So it was cool. It was eventful. Chicago didn't give me a damn, I gotta come back city. I could do without, but it was cool. You ever been to Chicago?
We went for my online brother wedding 2024. That was my first time, but it was on the outskirts, closest to the hotel. Then we drove into town, had some breakfast from a spot. I can't remember the name, but it was some spot that's on TikTok. It was decent.
Yeah.
But the wait was so long, we had to take it back to the hotel and then start getting ready for the wedding. So.
Yeah, it's a lot of things that unfolded too while I was in Chicago, man. Let's get into this Nolan Wells joint, bro. I don't know if you've been keeping up with all this developing story. Let me actually look it up. Just want to make sure that I'm reporting this right, man. So obviously an audio was just recently released. Have you seen that or heard that audio?
Yeah, it may have mentioned like sounding like some of them was in the back.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
So audio was released, and essentially it was from a boat tow company. The initial call that was made, these guys were sinking because a component of the boat was not working, allegedly. They were sinking. And two things that stood out to me on this call is the coordinates that they gave this towing company, which I looked up those coordinates myself. It's in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. So these motherfuckers were definitely en route. They had left the mainland when this call came in. So that stood out to me. And another thing that stood out to me is some of the voices that were, in the background, right? Now, you have a unredacted version and a cleared up version. The unredacted version is the version that the towing company released themselves, right? However, somebody by the name of Janetta Brantley, apparently she's out of Houston, actually.
Yeah.
She is a audio engineer and a sound expert and filmmaker. I looked up her business, and she's been in operation for over 10 years. So these look like some very legitimate credentials. But essentially, she went on the internet and she talked about how she cleared up that audio without using AI technology, right? So standard practices outside of AI technology, and in that cleared up audio, you can hear them calling Nolan. You can hear kids telling them, get up. You also hear things along the lines of, is he dead?
Yeah.
All that commotion almost comes to light. And quite frankly, even outside of the edited audio, you hear his name. You hear a dude screaming, get the fuck up. Like, you hear all that outside of that edited audio. So I'll go first on this one, man. My take on this is enough information to put kids in jail, in my opinion, right? Because two things this tells me. With those coordinates being in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, and with them screaming his name and telling him to wake up,
he was on that boat.
His body was in their possession, right? Now, as far as them truly saying, is he dead or is he not dead, we can't really make that out, right? But we have enough information to know he was at least unconscious while he was physically in their possession, right?
For sure.
Based on the information that came out before that, it was said that he stayed behind on the mainland with one of the girls that he was trying to holler at. So we know that's not true, because this puts his body in a whole different position, right? However, we also know that his body was found in the water, right?
Correct. That's what I was going to get to next.
So that would lead me to believe that he was unconscious or either dead. And if he died on the boat, whatever happened is manslaughter, because it still led to his death. If he died on the boat, whatever happened is manslaughter.
Right.
If he was unconscious, then it becomes first-degree murder, because they threw an unconscious body in the water and he drowned. Another thing that stood out to me, new information that came out, is along the lines of these autopsies that have rolled out. Apparently, the autopsy was missing his throat. The reason why that throat is important is because it's going to let us know, is this cause of death drowning or asphyxiation or choking or whatever it is, right? Yeah. Whatever that proper term is. Medical term is asphyxiation or whatever it is. But essentially, I went down a rabbit hole with that too. How does autopsies work, right? So it's not uncommon for them to remove vital organs and try to identify a cause of death. However, when the body is returned back to the family, those organs that were taken out to do separate studies are bagged up and given to the families along with the body, right? So for that throat to be missing in the independent autopsy, which the Crump
they can get that second
team did, that goes to show that there's a level of cover-up associated with that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now that makes people accomplices to murder. This audio itself blows everything wide open, right? So that's my thoughts. I'm interested to get your thoughts.
When I first heard it, I'm like, bingo, we got action. I'm thinking like this enough in the back, especially when they get those professionals and experts to come in and break down the audio. I'm like, I knew it was something fishy about it. If they returned with his phone, his keys, I saw the mom doing an interview. They said the phone was empty, and they said the kid was like an avid, social media kid. He constantly posted on, what's it called? Snapchat,
which I believe is 2026.
IG.
This is standard kids.
So he was like, they say it was hard to believe that nothing at all was
captured
in the phone. Yeah, in the phone when they searched it and when they unlocked it. So from the get-go, they said the police and they approached it wrong. Like they didn't have any, they didn't take any fingerprints, the clothing, nothing like that initially. So all that evidence could be destroyed at this point. Mm-hmm. Even if they go back to him now, it have been weeks, months, like like all of that evidence that they could have captured in the beginning no longer exists. So it'll be even harder to prosecute. But I mean, the audio is just so hard these days because how can you decipher AI? How you can decipher, like, people could create and do so much stuff, bro. It's like, is there really a fight with it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that was my initial thoughts when I start getting this new. Bro, it always come out, bro. If it was gonna be 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, like when stuff don't add up, it just don't add up.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, even with the audio can be legitimized easy if they really want to prove that it's legitimate, right? Because you can hire, let's say, 3 independent audio engineers, give them the original tape, and tell them to clear that outside of AI, and you can get those. Because what was said is what was said, right? Because like I said, even outside of the editing, outside the editing with the lady, what I can make out is they were screaming his name, which puts them at a location. He gives a coordinate, which I looked up. That coordinate is in the middle of nowhere, so there's no land. He wasn't at the island. Yeah, right. He wasn't at the island, and you can hear Buddy in the background say, "Get the fuck up." You see him saying, "Nolan, get the fuck up." Like, wake the fuck up. Like, you can hear that dude saying that in the background. So either way, that at the end of the day, these are fucking teens, bro.
Yeah, but also
pressure bus pipes. That's enough to bring these kids in rooms individually and put pressure on them. What happened?
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, somebody
going down
is the one who actually committed the act. However,
even if it was an accident, they're gonna hit him with that. Even if it was an accident, we just need to know what happened.
Yeah, we just need to know what happened, because this now makes the story that you gave us illegitimate. It's no longer legitimate.
My only other thing is, bro, like, money is power, and depending on who in that little county or over, bro, they can control. They pay off court, bro. You done seen it all, bro. Coroners have been paid to give false reports. You done seen detectives. It's always police how they write up their statements, like everything be. You feel me? Like,
yeah, don't get me wrong.
I don't know, bro.
And there is
I don't have no faith.
There is an element of power associated with this, because one of the moms is a judge, so there's an element of power, to your point. However, first and foremost, shout out to Nancy Grace, right? Shout out to Stephen A. Smith, which I've heard speak out on this, and shout out to the Crump attorney and his firm for really putting this level of pressure and demanding answers, right?
Right.
But one thing that did stand out at me is how I'm seeing TMZ reporting this, and I don't know. And I'm not here to speculate. I don't know what's going on with TMZ. But it seems like TMZ is reporting this with a level of bias that almost behooves the kids, right? Like, something about how they've been reporting this don't sit well with me, right? Because I've been trying to follow these big networks, and I want to make sure they're saying the right things, which push for justice. And something about how TMZ has been covering this hasn't been sitting well with me. But yeah, shout out to Nancy Grace, man. Nancy Grace has had their foot on their neck. You see what I'm saying? She's been talking about this.
I watched it earlier on her way to work.
Yeah, and that's kind of what these parents need. Listen, at the end of the day, there's nothing that's going to bring this child back, right? This family is going to feel a sense of grief and a sense of emptiness that will forever be there. However, there's a thing called closure that's truly going to help people grieve a little better, right? And a part of that closure is finding answer and holding people accountable, right?
Yeah.
And that's all these parents, I'm sure, are looking for, some level of closure. So also shout out to the parents for not subscribing to some of these scare tactics that I've been reading about. They said the mom is a nurse practitioner, allegedly has her own practice. I haven't verified that, but apparently people have been leaving bad reviews on her business, essentially economic attacks on her business, on some, don't come here for service. She's not a good health professional. Apparently all these things have been happening. I'm like, yo, she's the victim. Like, why are you guys attacking a victim who lost their son? You see what I'm saying? So it's been a lot, bro. This is quickly turning into like a race war. I hate to say it, but it's quickly turned into a race war. And I think I've heard Attorney Crump and the family try to push for is closure. We need to know what happened. Something happened, and we need to know what happened.
But when Crump and Autumn get involved, it turned into a shit show celebrity. It turned into white versus black. You know, those just the constant cases they pick up anyway. So you got to expect that with it. Period, point blank. I'm with you. We need to know what happened. Somebody need to come and tell the truth. What could have been done to prevent this? Also, what measures going to be in place for next time when things like this happen, especially going out to the island? Because I was reading the timeline. It says something like they left because you know the boat has the coordinates. They left and they got there like an hour and 13 minutes from the time they left, and the island is closer than that or something like that. It shouldn't have been out on the water. It was a whole bunch of stuff when they gave the timeline. So I'm
either
just like,
way,
man,
when you give those exact coordinates, you had to look it up. That's not something you just know. You have to look it up, right?
Correct.
So for you to give those exact coordinates, we can all look up those goddamn exact coordinates. Like I said, it contradicts two things. One, it contradicts that this dude was not in your possession because your guys were clearly trying to wake him up or make sure that, you know, he was only unconscious and not dead. And two, it also shows you guys were in the middle of nowhere. So at the very least, he was thrown over. We could assume he was thrown overboard before help got there. And another thing too, they was asking him, hey, do you need a Coast Guard? And he declined that. You see what I'm saying? The boy voice you can hear clearly. He declined Coast Guard assistance. If somebody is unconscious and there's no motive to cover up why ever he's unconscious, why are you declining assistance? You see what I'm saying? Like if you call in somebody and be like, hey, I need EMS, right? And they say, hey, do you need, you know, medical assistance too? And somebody's unconscious, why would I say no to medical assistance, right? Because Coast Guard is a form of medical assistance.
You saw the coroner's report when they say the back of his head, the lower back of his head was
redness.
Yeah.
Blunt
force trauma, something like that. Oh, he probably fell back. Or
that could be an element. Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, something happened, man. And clearly they were drinking. He did say everybody. There was about 7 people on this boat with him. There's about 7 people on the boat total. He said everybody on the boat is under 21. And another thing, too, where I've seen people try to push a narrative is like, well, he probably was too drunk and got crazy. The fact that he drinking underage is wild. First of all, if Nolan Wells was drinking underage, everybody on that boat was goddamn drinking underage. You see what I'm saying? But either way, y'all motherfuckers need to sober up real quick. We need to figure out what the fuck happened. You see what I'm saying? But
they sobered up. They sobered up the lie.
I'm surprised. Then again, it's Mississippi, man. Racially rooted state, deep south. A couple years back, black people got a W with the chair brawl. This time, I guess they trying to get their revenge, man. Covering up a murder.
Nah, man. I mean, I don't know, bro. Because if that was his friends, his real friends, people he grew up with, I'm just trying to figure out how the situation even got to where it got to.
Yeah, the moment you start
and I'm thinking, bro, it's so many people out there, bro. Like, they would have had to scene. Like, if people stayed behind, people left. It seemed like it was like a big event where a lot of boats pull up to an island. How is he the last one, sole one there? Somebody had to see something, bro. That's what I'm saying.
And that's pretty much
we're in 2026, bro. We're in 2026.
They mentioned this girl named Katie. They say he got off the boat to go holler at this girl named Katie.
Where is she?
And she claims that she don't know. She claims that the nigga wasn't on the island with her. Like, there's been so many stories. And the other thing, too, is like, okay, let's say he did get off the boat to go holler at a girl. It still don't explain why y'all have his cell phone. Like,
and keys. Talking about he left it.
My nigga, I don't take a shit without my phone. Like, who the hell going to holler at a girl without their phone?
That's what the mama was saying. Like, he always have his phone, even to the point where, like, he'll ask her to take a picture before she go to bed. Like, he was always on social media heavy, and I watched that earlier as well. So, like, how he don't have his phone?
I don't
talk about it. Wasn't no service on the island, but then Nancy Grace, she was on Officer Tatum head. Talking about, you didn't have service or you did have service? Well, I did have, so you only can make a call, not for social media. So you just said you didn't have any service, but you do have service.
That's what I said. Shout out to Nancy Grace.
Right, she was on the head, bro.
And the thing about it is, if he
wasn't making no sense. He was lying,
if he got off the boat to holler at a girl, you don't need service to take down somebody's phone number. You don't need service to even if your Instagram is not working. Granted, he's a young boy, so he's probably like, hey, let me get what's your Insta? You don't need service to pull up notes and add somebody's Instagram tag. So when you do get service, you know, you look them up or follow them on social media. It still don't make sense as to why you have his phone. Like I said, as a grown man, I don't go in the bathroom and take a shit without my phone in my hand. So I don't see how somebody under the age of 20, 21 don't always have their phone. Especially if the mom can attest to his character and who he is. Like, he was very social media friendly.
And you see, they can't paint a narrative as far as a thug or anything like that with him because it's just one of those things where, they gotta go on the other side of things to try to get what they can across. Like, they gotta come up with lies. It's hard. It's gonna be hard to fight it, but I think it's very crucial. Like, I don't know if you ever watched First 48. In that first 24 hours, bro, the evidence and the getting the people to talk and everything's fresh and happening and getting the details is so critical. But it's to the point where I think they missed out on a lot of evidence and a lot of key critical information, bro.
I think you have enough. Bro, criminal justice background speaking here, right? Who, what, where, why, right? We have the who and the what, right? The who is Nolan Wall, what happened. I meant Nolan Wells, what happened. He's deceased. That's the who and the what, right? When you talk about the where and the why, we have a coordinate based on a phone call that tells us where his body was last seen, right?
Yeah.
Whether you want to believe what was said in that, we know there are certain things we can hear. And we can hear his name being called.
I think this audio.
We can hear. We can hear him say, "Get up!" Right. So we have the where, right there, right. Then you got to ask yourself the why, right. So the why encompasses the cover up. It encompasses what led to him being unconscious. Like it is everything, right. And it could be something so innocent, like, hey, we're all underage. We're drinking like crazy. He's acting erratic, and we get into a pushing fight, and he falls, hits his head. It could be something chill,
I'm almost certain it probably was a mistake, bro.
And we were so scared that we disposed of his body. And then and maybe it's a privilege thing, right? We're so used to being in spaces where we're able to cover everything up as long as we're honest with our parents, because they've always had that level of power. And unfortunately, this one may be too much for us. Right? It could be something innocent.
But they being prepped, bro. And what isn't one of the kids' mother a lawyer or something like that, or
a judge?
A judge. I'm telling you, bro. They being prepped on what to say, not to say. Everybody stick to the script.
I get you. But you know
what's
crazy?
Reach out to her local judge. She got to reach out to the judge over the case. Man, jump be happening, bro.
There are specific facts you can point out, though, right? Because one thing we do know is people wiped out all their social media at the top of this, right? Immediately, they lawyered up. These people had gotten lawyers before they was even deemed suspects for real. Because technically, they were never deemed suspects because the police deemed it to be no foul play. So they were never suspects. So the fact that they lawyered up before suspects, I'm not saying that's an admission of guilt, but anybody who has a level of sense to be like, they covering up something. You feel me? Something happened and they covering up, right? So you can take that information and then, moonwalk back and try to identify what happened. I think two battles Attorney Crump and his team is going to face.
What?
One is the state of Mississippi, which has always been a racially rooted state.
Yeah.
Are they going to care enough, despite the evidence, to press the narrative? And two, if they do, will justice actually be served? Those are the two battles right now. But I think you have enough information.
My question to you, what would justice be like in this case? What would justice look like to you in this case?
Justice is understanding the facts as it relates to the who, what, where, when, and the why.
No, but like, what do you want to see happen?
And also details on the cover up. Hell, cue up a Netflix documentary. These parents played a role in covering things up. Even with the autopsy, with the throat being missing. Throat being missing in the autopsy. That's not something that kids have the mental capacity to plan ahead of.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta be.
Nor do they have the resources, right?
Coroner office got to get shut down. Everybody involved got to get shut down.
Yeah, because even the police officer Nancy Grace was pressing. I'm looking at him like something about him don't seem right to me. It's like
Black. Do you don't know about Officer Zach?
Nah. What's his story?
Man, black people hate him. He one of those. He always jump on the other side when it's black versus white. And then, his backstory is, he if something look right on our end, he gonna find a way to make it wrong. He try to speak factual or the what if, like he was saying that he feel like the boy is kind of innocent because why would they still have his keys and his phone and stuff like that? You would think if somebody that was guilty, they probably would have threw it in the water or they would have got rid of the evidence. They wouldn't have brought it back.
But they did, though.
But that's what I'm saying.
It just didn't look like water. Like, you getting in there face IDing. Like, you don't need to put in a password. Like, everything face ID. Let's say he's unconscious. You unlock his phone, hover it over his face,
but
unlock it.
But he's saying they should have.
But
he was saying he think they're innocent because they had the stuff in their possession. If they were guilty, they probably would have just threw it in the water. That way, it would have been untraceable. They would have never found it.
See, life is all about perspective. Because in my mind, I said that's all the reason for me to say that you are guilty. The fact that you kept certain things because you know it would trace back to you is all the reason why you would be guilty.
Correct. So that's why he is. And then he tried to say he interviewed one of the boys and they took a polygraph test or whatever and they passed, all except one passed it. And then Nancy was like, so you can confirm they took a well, no, it wasn't. Let me clarify. It wasn't a polygraph test. It's a test that's similar like it where, you know, it can tell if they telling the truth or not. And she was like, but you just said, so did did they not take an official polygraph test? And then he starts smirking and she like, nah, they ain't take that. Like you capping for him and don't even know, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't the real. So he one of those, bro. How can I relate it? Like he liked the bad side of Charleston. Like Charlie Kirk was his best. He cried for Charlie Kirk. So that's what kind of individual he is. Yeah.
And I try to be as neutral as possible, even when I'm like, you know what I'm saying? When I'm like bringing forth some of this, because like even we talked about like with the child situation, right? Yeah. That case, right? We talk about, charges actually matter. Like certain things matter in certain cases. Same thing with the what's the other dude, Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
I'm like, Carmelo Anthony.
He was on the opposite side of both of those.
You see what I'm saying? Like he killed that boy, right? Him being pushed did not warrant fatal action. It didn't. You see what I'm saying? Like to me, that's not a black and white thing. It's just being objective to the best of your ability, right? Now, we've seen black people take so many L's in the criminal justice system. Would we have liked certain people to get a pass? Yes, but I mean, I still can't be objective when I'm talking about these things because it is what it is. Carmelo Anthony was dead fucking wrong for killing somebody for pushing him. He was dead fucking wrong. You see what I'm saying? Them giving him 30 years, they was dead fucking wrong for that too. Because at the end of the day, we know, we can look up a plethora of similar cases and time is not disseminated the same way. So two things can be true. Yes, he is guilty because being pushed does not warrant lethal force. But at the same time, they hit him 30. That's a little excessive. But then again, he took it to trial and lost. And we all know if you don't take a plea deal, you get hit with more time on the back end, right?
Yeah, he had them janky lawyers.
Yeah. So, but even reporting this, it is what it is, bro. Like, these kids did something. There's a cover-up. We know. We have enough information to really press these kids. At the end of their teens, so somebody's going to break. I don't give a fuck how good the script is.
So, speaking of liars, we had Dr. Jaquel Pitts confirm Dr. Bryant's degree. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm reading.
So what's your take on it? Go ahead and catch people up. What's going on?
Let's catch people up, man. Who was it? What's the dude name? The dude that was interviewing Buddy. What's the dude name? Damn, what's his name?
Mark Lamont Hill.
Yeah, Mark Lamont, right? Mark Lamont is he's well known in the media space, and he got a hold of this Jaquel Pitts guy, which the very first time I even heard of this dude's name was people doing like a review video of like, her degree actually being conferred or something like that. And then he was interviewing this nigga on something like, who are you? Because you got people who lives in this local area saying they ain't never heard of this university. And this man said, yeah, we created this university May of last year. And this nigga said, I'm both the president and the vice president. Said that, I knew it was going to be some bullshit. So who are you guys accredited by? He couldn't prove any accreditations. And then he goes, okay, cool. So tell me more about this degree. He said, yeah, she has an earned degree. We've actually conferred this degree. It is not an honorary or whatever the case may be. And he goes, so what is the basis of this degree? Like, because a doctoral program takes anywhere between 4 to 6 years.
Correct, bro.
And then Buddy goes, well, we understand that, but we deem that she met the requirements to be conferred as a doctor? And he goes, based on what though? Like, based on what? Like, there's coursework and there are things associated with actually getting your license. And he goes, well, based on interviews that we've watched and, you know, information that she has put out, like, and I'm listening to this and I can't even believe my ears. In my mind, I'm like, this is a nigga version of Dr. Bryant.
Bruh. That boy said, Mark Lamont Hill was like, wait, y'all opened in May. She got a degree in. How would y'all even
have time? Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, well, it took us a long time to get this transcript. So they weren't cooperating with that. So we kind of just gave it we made like, it's to our discretion who we give a doctor. He's like, because I understand the honorary, but like, how did y'all get her this? He's like, it's to our discretion. She does have it. He said he saw something on the background of a video and confirmed the degree.
Yeah, said throw a picture. Throw a picture.
Bro, like what? Come on, bro.
Yeah, Buddy wilding. When he said that, bro, I'm like, this Buddy is beyond wild for that.
Bro, sometimes I be thinking it be scripted, bro. Like, there's no way people could really believe the stuff that's coming out of their mouth, bro. There's no way, bro. When I watched it, I had to play it back to make sure I like heard what he said. I'm like, bro, there's no way he said that. May of 26. Bro, we only in July.
Yeah. And what's crazy part about it is when they put up Buddy email,
get me a doctorate from his school, man.
When they put up Buddy email, Buddy had a Gmail account, bro. Anybody who has went to
EDU,
university, you know, it's
like that,
bro, it's .edu, bro. Like, why you have a Gmail? Why am I? That's like you emailing somebody from the financial aid office and they emailing you from a Gmail account. You're like, what the? Why are you emailing me from a Gmail account,
bro? Every day I feel like, bro, something our people do that just make it look bad, bro. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you.
I think he just want to attach his name to her because she get the publicity she get. Like, because they wouldn't have been in the same. They wouldn't have been in the same podcast or in the same conversation had it not been for Dr. Bryant. To me,
you know what's crazy, bro? I'll tell you like this. This whole Dr. Bryant talk has made me really ask myself the question. And I don't think not everybody's asking, which is why. Like, why is she so pressed about being a doctor? And then it actually makes sense to me, right? Because bro, I got a bachelor's and a master's degree. Never have I ever slapped my name on something, referenced my degrees, and have been asked for proof. Never. The only time that has happened to me is when I applied for the FBI. I needed to provide official transcripts. That's the only time. Outside of that,
you don't do that.
Outside of that, motherfuckers have never asked me to, support this shit.
Didn't she say something crazy like she got multiple masters or 3 or something? Like, does she have multiple masters and now a doctorate or something like that?
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing about lying though. Like, when you lie one time, it makes you question everything somebody say. You see what I'm saying?
She got that pretty privilege though. That's the biggest thing, bro. That's all. To be honest with you,
and maybe it's just me.
Listen,
maybe it's just me, but when I first started listening to her, I looked at her as like, yo, this is a very educated woman. And like, she speaks well. No, for real. She speaks well. She's very well-rounded. She's very well-rounded and she's very knowledgeable. And there's two things can be true, right? You can be knowledgeable about something and have no degree on the knowledge that you spit, right? It's the same reason why you could, grant somebody experience just via shadowing or training. Right. And that person probably is not licensed to do whatever it is that they got experience for.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's just you learn how to drive before you actually got your driver's license. You feel me? You got people who've been driving for years and still don't have a driver's license, right?
Right.
But having a driver's license make them legit. So in the same way, that's kind of like how I first started taking in her content. But the more all this line thing came out and she kind of became defensive, I mean, I thought she was pretty, but I mean, she wasn't to die for. I never looked at her like that. But the moment all this started coming out, she became ugly to me. You feel me? Like, there's a level of narcissism associated with how you moving. And that's I
don't even want that energy around me. Yeah, boy. Ain't no telling.
Yeah, that's unattractive.
But yeah, man, that I just like the why. That's a good question. I mean, maybe it's to make her, like, honestly, bro, this has been a talking point for over a year, bro. Like, she's still relevant and people trying to figure out about this degree stuff.
And you know what's crazy? I was listening to a Cam Newton podcast and he had one of the B2K niggas on there, Raz B, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he had pulled up a clip from her being in one of their music videos when they were popping.
Back in the day. Yeah.
So to a certain extent, this
video vixen,
like she's been in this limelight or in this world close enough to stardom for quite some time.
She been working to get that doctorate.
This nigga. I ain't say all that. I ain't gonna throw smut on her name. I don't know what her relational life is like.
You never know, bro.
I'm not gonna throw smut on her name. I don't know what her relational life is like.
Yeah, but that's a whole nother conversation when you hear her talk about relationships.
I say like she's been that close to stardom, right? So that may have something to do with the why, right? She's been around people for so long, have always led with this title for so long. It's one of those lies you either start believing or you just too deep in to retract.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You're too deep in to retract. So I don't know. I don't know what the true why is, but there's a why that we're not asking ourselves. Like, why? You see what I'm saying? And the internet is undefeated. One thing the internet gonna do is find out some shit.
Bro, they gonna find. Bro, that's why it's like, to a certain level, bro, I don't think I ever want to be that famous and that, like.
There's no privacy.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. And it's like, just like, everything is out there, bro. You don't have to, your life is not just your life no more, bro. They gonna find it, bro. They is gonna find it.
There's no privacy.
They gonna find it, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm interested to understand the why though. But there's a why, and we're not asking ourselves that question enough. Why is Dr. Cheyenne Bryant?
Bro, it's for clout, bro. Everything be for clout, bro.
I feel like she's already. I'm assuming she's already well connected.
It's like to keep it going, bro. Because after you done been exposed on certain stuff, now it's something else that got to come out. Because the relationship stuff was boo boo.
Have you? To be honest with you, I don't know how deep you've done this deep dive on her, but I have. I don't know if you've ever visited her website, but on her website, she offers like sessions, right?
No, she had clientele too.
She offers sessions. She has clientele. She even goes down to having like resort sessions, like, you know, like travel sessions. Like y'all go, you know, to a remote place and y'all do one-on-one sit downs kind of thing. She had all kinds of packages that she offered. And she's charging hundreds and thousands for some packages.
People paying.
And people apparently were paying. However, one thing that was also clear on her website is she doesn't work with insurance, right? She doesn't accept anything insurance.
Straight cash. She bought that check.
She on her Randy Moss shit. Straight cash, homie. You see what I'm saying? Which right there is a red flag. Because anybody who is like, you know, anybody like who's licensed and legit,
yeah, you're going to get that insurance because you're getting paid.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. The insurance is probably not something that you necessarily want to deal with. But to be honest with you, you can actually make more money dealing with insurance because everybody knows there's an insurance cost and there's an out-of-pocket cost.
So you're going to get it either way.
You see what I'm saying? If I go to the doctor right now and try to get an MRI, they probably going to charge the insurance about $15,000 for that MRI. But if I'm saying, hey, I'm doing self-pay or out-of-pocket pay, whatever the proper term is, they probably only going to charge me $550 for it. Same CAT scan, but because the insurance is paying for it, they're going to times that by 30.
Yeah.
So but because I'm paying for it, they're going to charge me some that's somewhat reasonable. So I don't know. I don't know where her why is, but there's a why that we're not asking. Yeah. But yeah, I did see that shit. Mark Lamont was on his ass too.
Yeah. It don't be making sense, bro. It don't be making no sense, bro. It don't be making no sense.
Mark Lamont was on his ass, man. Besides that, man, what else going on, man? We seen some training camp fights coming out. You saw Jamar Chase was in a training camp fight.
Nah, already. I ain't see that one.
Yeah, with a DB. No name DB. We don't really know.
He said no name DB. That's crazy, bro. That man in the league, man. You can't just no name nobody like that, man.
Well, I mean, I'm not even trying to be funny. I mean, they had practice jersey on. There was no name on the back of the practice jersey for me to even look. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't.
You knew it was Chase, though.
Well, Chase, yeah, we know that. When we see Bengal stripes in that Uno, we know that's Chase. But when we see Bengal stripe in 32, I don't know who the fuck that is. You know, I know it ain't Cedric Benson. So, yeah, I don't know who the fuck that is.
I ain't see that one, though. That's crazy.
Yeah. Training camp fight. You kind of see that once every year.
I saw Baker Mayfield felt disrespected by the Bucs offer.
Yeah, I saw that too, man. Yeah, he ain't fucking with that shit.
Boy. What you thinking? You think that boy gonna be out of there? You think that boy deserve more money? I thought he was decent for the Bucks.
Yeah, he did. I mean, shit, it feels like he just got paid yesterday, but that's how it be though. Like, you know, when you sign these short-term contracts, you be up for renewal so quick. You feel me? But yeah, I think he's been good. I think he's been good for the Bucks. I mean, quarterback life is what 15 years in the league. I think it's solid to say, especially with all these rules behind hitting the quarterback. Baker Mayfield is at what, year 8, year 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he can probably get 2 more short-term contracts with them. And yeah, I think he's revived the Bucks. Maybe the concern is sending around the weapons. I mean, he's not going to have Mike Evans. So I'm not sure if they're looking at it from a perspective of, hey, we need to see how you perform. But, you know, NFL players, I can never get with them and holding out and shit like that. I can never get with that. That shit don't make sense to me. Because, like...
That what Pittsburgh running back did. Le'Veon Bell? Was it Le'Veon Bell?
Yeah. It's like, nigga, you're under contract. Like, if you sign a 3-year contract for $75 million, okay, cool. Forget the guaranteed money, but you're going to get an average of $25 million per year. Don't get to year 2 and be like, you know what, I'm not going to come to work no more because we need to extend it before I play year 3. Nigga, you're already under contract. Like, why are you holding out if you're under contract? I'm confused.
Yeah. I seen the Kona got paid for the was it the Browns corner? The highest paid he became the highest paid corner
number 21.
Yeah, in the league right now. Chris Olave
is holding out. Bijan Robinson is holding out. Who else is holding out?
They got Chris Olave just did a 4-year extension worth up to $132 million. And
that must have been today.
Yeah, including $90 million guaranteed at 5:01 at 5:01 today. So an hour.
So about an hour ago. Okay, yeah, I didn't know. I know he was holding out. Jahmyr Gibbs is holding out right now too.
For real? Mm-hmm. Dang, them years went by fast. He just came out of Alabama, man.
It makes sense for Jahmyr Gibbs to hold out because you already committed to him because you got rid of his running mate. But he came to Houston, so, I mean, timing. He's actually playing it right. So it actually makes sense for Jahmyr Gibbs to hold out.
Yeah.
But certain players, like, you know, it just don't make sense. Because I know Jacoby Brissett was holding out, but shit, they just drafted Beck out of University of Florida. You see what I'm saying? Granted, Jacoby Brissett, he gave him a good last stretch of the season.
You know, he's from Palm Beach. I played against him my senior year in high school. He was a sophomore. He played basketball. He was good at basketball and football.
Yeah, he went to Dwyer. He went to Dwyer.
With Matt Elam and them.
Yeah, Matt Elam, Nick O'Leary.
Yeah.
Both of those niggas was at... No, yeah, both of them niggas was at Dwyer during that time.
Yeah, Nick went to Florida State.
Yeah, but yeah, them boys, yeah, I don't understand the fucking holdout shit. That shit be throwing me.
I mean, I don't know. I think they see that check and they want to get it now for other people either before they get hurt or before other people come in and take the spot. You know, it's a get paid now league.
Don't get me wrong. Logically, I get it. You see what I'm saying? The risk behind playing football.
Denzel Ward had got a big contract.
The risk behind playing football is just so high. So I get it. You see what I'm saying? Like I can go out there and tear my Achilles practicing. And, you know, it ain't like basketball where it's guaranteed money. You feel me? A lot of this shit is incentive based. It's performance based. So why would I play if I only got 1 year on my contract, especially with a running back life being 3 to 4 years, if that. You draft the next best guy. Now I'm, you know, out here getting a 1-year contract, prove it deals, and I could never get the money that I'm truly worth. So I get it, but it still don't make sense logically from a business perspective because, nigga, we've paid you to be here for 2 years. I mean, for 3 years. Nigga, don't give me 2 and ask me to give you more than 3 years on your 3rd year. Nigga, that's not how that works.
Right. I don't know, bro. And we talking about millionaire problem, bro. Millionaire issues, bro. How much money is too money, bro? Too much money. Like, they done made the money over the years. They better make sure they ain't blowing it. I think these athletes create a lifestyle. Well, they bills just... You can't maintain it, bro, for longevity. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is, but we'll see, man. I hope they get paid, man. I want to see everybody play. Hell, that tie into my fantasy football draft.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, fantasy football gonna be all over the place.
Last thing I want to do is draft a nigga who is just uncertain about playing. Hell, we all learn from Le'Veon Bell a couple years ago. This nigga took the whole year off, and some motherfuckers drafted him top 5. He was one of those running backs during that time.
That's crazy.
You see what I'm saying? The amount of touches he would get, whether it be from a passing game or for the running game, was so high. Like, niggas like, yeah, he definitely gonna give me what I need. And yeah, they drafted him top 5 and he ain't even played. So I do need them to iron out that contract stuff, especially before we draft. So yeah, we need to see what's popping.
We'll see. But I mean, there's a lot going on in the news. I'm ready for college football. I'm ready for college basketball. NFL, I'm gonna do the fantasy again this year. And yeah, we're gonna keep it moving.
Yeah. But besides that, man, nothing else popping?
Your boy NBA, your boy Draymond got signed back to the Golden State Warriors.
Shout out to the Golden State Warriors for being man of their word. Because in my mind, you remember we had that conversation on the podcast. I'm like, damn, this nigga declined to $27 million. Who the fuck out there gonna give him $27 million? You see what I'm saying? And granted, he declined it. Turns out he declined it with hopes of signing LeBron and restructuring his deal, kind of create some space. So shout out to him for being a team player. Shows his loyalty to that organization. And, the organization shows their loyalty back. And I'm sure he probably had a separate agreement in place with them. It's like, hey, we don't get LeBron. You guys got to re-sign me to this money that I put on the table. So I'm sure he had something like that. But, yeah, shout out to him. I thought for sure he was out of there. After talking like he was talking about Steve Kerr, I thought for sure he was gone.
You thought he was gone? Me too, but I knew he wasn't going nowhere to get that type of money.
Yeah,
and that's why he need to watch. You feel me? Like, he can't say nothing, bro. The organization signed him back for that. What's $27 million, bro? Come on, bro.
Yeah, 27 and some change, yeah.
A year. You worth that? You think he worth that?
Not at this stage of his career, nah. But I mean, a lot of these contracts,
he earned it.
A lot of these contracts are really based on what you've done and not necessarily your potential. You see what I'm saying? Like, people don't get paid based on their potential. They get paid based on what they've done. I mean, when you straight out of the draft, you get paid based on your draft order, but that's the only place you're going to get paid based on your potential. You see what I'm saying? That's the only, they're going to pay you based on what you've done and team needs. So, yeah, he definitely didn't deserve 27.
So that boy eating, ain't it?
And shout out to Draymond, man. But that's it, bro. This was another good episode, man. Justice for Nolan Wells, whatever that looks like, man. I'm going to continue staying on top of this, just kind of see how this plays out.
For sure. How you think the degree going to play out? We got to see how the Dr. Bryant degree going to play out. Maybe
that's an open and closed case.
Maybe she'll start again at the school and get another doctorate at the end of the fall, bro. It's just open, bro. She can get another doctorate this fall, bro.
The moment she went on Breakfast Club and said she ain't got to prove nothing to nobody but God.
Case closed.
The moment somebody say something like that, I'm like,
yeah. You're like, oh, you ain't going to go against God. Yeah.
They lying. They lying.
Too funny.
They lying. So
yeah, man. Y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. Let us know what y'all think about these topics we discussed today. Y'all get in them comments, man. We'll interact with y'all. Y'all let us know what y'all want to talk about next. And then, look forward to talking to our Mobcast family again. And like that, we out.
Yeah, baby.